Hello and welcome to the NFL Dropback Show here on Britballing. I think it's actually the Dropback NFL Show, but it doesn't really matter. We're still in the off season. I'm Sam Lewis and joined today by Stan Wilson. How you doing, fella?
I'm doing fantastic. Yet another week, yet another different lineup of hosts on the Dropback live stream, eh?
I know we'll keep them guessing. They don't want to get complacent, do we?
I've heard the odds are 50-1 on me and Matt to host next week, so we'll see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time you two saw each other. It's probably back for
the
draft, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, probably. Come back, Matt. We miss you.
No, I saw him on the earlier show in the week. I mean, it was enough for the time being. It's a good job he's not here today. No, but other than Hunter Renfrow tearing up Jalen Ramsey in training camp and a couple of injuries around the league, we don't have a whole lot of news. So we can get straight into the NFC South preview. And we'll kick things off with the Atlanta Falcons. Is there any chance this team makes the playoff this year, or is the defense just that bad?
No, there is no chance. They're in a division where they are probably the worst team. You've got the Buccaneers looking incredibly strong, the Saints looking and the Carolina Panthers looking to be on perhaps the resurgence. But either way, I think the Falcons are the worst team in this division.
Yeah, I couldn't argue with you there. They've got a couple of bright spots. They usually have at least a high-flying attack. We should see that again with Calvin Ridley and Pitts joining. I mean, it's very rare that we see a tight end have an immediate impact, but it's very rare that you see a tight end that's as much of an athletic freak as Kyle Pitts is. Is he going to have the impact like straight away you'd expect from a top 5 pick?
I think he will. I think the way they're going to use him will be different to the way that they use like tight ends typically, because of course you've got Hayden Hurst there, who's more of a traditional tight end. Perhaps you could like flex Kyle Pitts out, use him as your typical X receiver, and then have Calvin Ridley playing the Z role with Russell Gage in the slot. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw that early on in the season. So that would be a way that Kyle Pitts would be an instant contributor on offense.
Absolutely. And by the end of the season, I reckon that Calvin Ridley is going to be certified around the league. People will be finally giving him the respect he deserves because he was pretty great last year, even with Julio out large portions of the season. People are like, oh, he's going to get the number one receivers now. But he was doing that last year and he had the most 100-yard games out of all wide receivers throughout the last season.
Yeah, and he's looking pretty filthy in training camp as well. A couple of clips of him making a mockery of Xavier Howard as well.
Byron Jones as well today.
Oof.
It's gone both. I think that's the real reason Matt's gone, because he just can't be unbiased about the Dolphins.
I'm not going to argue with that.
No. Elsewhere on the offense, is this Matt Ryan's last year? Do you reckon there's a couple more years? How many more years does he see Matt Ryan being here, though? 4, 5, forever?
I don't know. I think
he's 37 for the last 10 years.
I know. I can't see him playing anywhere else, to be honest with you. I do think he's going to have an all right year this year. Like the offense does not look bad at all. You've got Mike Davis there, who they picked up from Carolina. Hayden Hurst back there again. The offensive line doesn't look good, but essentially when you got Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage looked all right last season as well. You got the addition of Kyle Pitts. I think he'll have an all right season. There's no way he doesn't throw for at least like 38,000 yards. Sorry, 3,800 yards even.
38,000 yards. There's a couple of pieces on the offense. You're right. Overall, it's not fantastic. The right side's all right. Chris Lindstrom had a good year last year. McGarry isn't quite what they were expecting to be. But is it Jake Matthews? I mean, I know there's about 15 Matthews that have played in the end. It is Jake Matthews at left tackle.
It is Jake Matthews, yeah.
I mean, he's always been a solid sort of underrated left tackle. He's definite starter material. So you got a couple of pieces there. And Mike Davis did a lot with a sort of similar standard O-line last year.
Yeah.
In Carolina.
Mike Davis is fun. He's fun, Mike Davis.
I feel that's always the issue with the Atlanta Falcons, though, a little bit, is that they've got a fun offense. They've got these fun pieces, but they just never have a defense to go alongside it and like help them in the games.
That is true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the defense does not look strong by any means. There are a few bright spots on it, and like players like AJ Terrell, Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, but that's really where it stops. Like there are no other players on that defense that really jump out as being difference makers.
Dante Fowler's sometimes had good snaps.
Yeah, he's been okay, but again,
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just
There's no one who's going to jump out and make a difference. Like AJ Terrell is going to be solid like he was last year. Grady Jarrett's just an absolute game wrecker, as we know. Deion Jones is a solid Mike linebacker, but
when he's on the field.
Yeah, when he's on the field, but there's just nothing about this offense, about this defense that makes you like have any sort of faith in them. Like Richie Grant as well, he was a nice little pickup at safety. Perhaps he sees some snaps as they struggle down the stretch, but yeah, there's no point trying to make him out to be something that they're not. There, it's a bad unit.
Bad unit, and it's a rebuilding team, so it's not like they need to be challenging for the playoffs or anything this year anyway, which I don't think either of us expect them to. In terms of offense, are we going to see them exactly just go back to that outside zone play action style that we saw under Shanahan, and we assume that Arthur Smith is going to bring to them?
I mean, I would assume so. It would be similar to that.
That scheme's not going to stop until he's conquered every single team in the league, is it?
No, you're right. It's just gonna. It's the new wing T. It's the new wing T, isn't it? Everyone's just gonna run it. And until some radical college coach comes up with something new in about 5 years' time, then everyone goes nuts for it, then forgets Shanahan ever existed.
Do you know what it's like? It's like when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, and then all of their defensive assistants and coaches and coordinators got jobs as head coaches and coordinators around the league, and they all started playing that cover 3 defense that Seattle run.
Yeah, everyone started running the 4-3 over. Yeah. And now that's gone. It's all just hybrids 3-4 now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with the scheme, they realised that it's a lot more to do with the fact that they had Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor and Prime Richard Sherman that sort of helped the back end of that scheme out quite a lot.
Exactly. Like cover 3 definitely relies on the players a lot more than you'd think. So, yeah, this is the new staple of NFL offenses.
It is. And in terms of this team, what's the best they can do? Like, what's a good season for them?
Right, I've now got to remember that they're a 17-game season. So with that being remembered, the best they can do is... I'm trying to be nice here.
Yeah, because Terrell's watching and he's a Falcons fan, and he always comments, so you've got to be at least nice. Give him a couple more wins.
We do love Terrell Burgess, very loyal follower of the show, but 7-11, I think best case scenario. 7-10 even, 7-10. Like, it's a bad football team.
You actually have to think about the maths now.
I know. Before it just used to come out like that. You knew all the records, but
yeah, you know what? I reckon they can crack 500. Let's give them a 9-8 ceiling. 9-8. Yeah, it's 9-8. 9-8 ceiling. Well, they were 4-12 last year. I thought they'd won a few more games than that, to be fair.
9-8.
I reckon they got Kyle Pitts, who's going to basically be the X receiver in that offense. So he's basically a younger, worse Julio Jones.
A younger.
That's how they're probably going to have to use him. Realistically.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And then Calvin Ridley is going to explode into a true number 1 receiver. Matt Ryan's going to have a bounce back year. Let's go just over 500 in the best year. Worst case scenario, yeah, back to 4 wins again.
I'd be happy with 7-10. I'd be happy with 7-10 as a Falcons fan, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's a little bit sad.
I mean, maybe it's because I'm a. Maybe
to be fair, I know what you mean. As an Eagles fan, I'd be happy with 7-10 this year.
Yeah, I'm a perpetually underwhelmed Cardinals fan, so I'm used to disappointments like this. So 7-10 would be something to be proud of.
I mean, proud is a. It's just you can't see their defense keeping them in close games. They're going to have to be so explosive on offense.
Exactly. They got to get toasted at the end of the day.
Yeah, so floor, 4 wins again? Somewhere around that.
3
Doldrum,
wins.
Sort of top 5 pick.
Yeah, Golden 4 wins is their floor because they got Matt Ryan. You could never have Matt Ryan in a 3-win team. But
is Matt Ryan an elite quarterback?
He was. I don't know.
Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
God, no, that's a debate for you, isn't it? Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Fame quarterback? I think he's going to be overlooked in the history books, similar in a way to Matt Stafford, unless Matt Stafford suddenly has unless he gets the accolades that he needs in LA, then he's going to get forgotten as well. Like Matt Ryan obviously has an MVP season under his belt. Yeah. But other than that, no Super Bowls. I can't see it happening. I can't see him being a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Just not consistently enough as a playoff team, have they? They haven't been.
They haven't been consistent, no. Do
you know the difference as well between him and Stafford is that when you turn on Stafford's highlight reel, it's a lot more wild plays.
I think with Matt Ryan, he has been one of the better quarterbacks in this league for a long time, and a top 10 quarterback at points. But he's never like made his way into that top 5 apart from during that MVP campaign, really. And how much of that was down to Shanahan?
Yeah, I think that's fair because it was the best year he had.
I always talk about elite quarterbacks as being players who can elevate a team on their own, but he's a great quarterback, but he's not a guy who can elevate a team on his own, similar to an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes.
I think the thing is with the Falcons, we've touched on it a few times, is that they've always had good offenses when he's been there. It's not like he's ever led a bad offense.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not.
Granted, they've had Julio. Their issue has always been that they haven't been able to keep the opposition out of the end zone.
Yeah, he's struggled because of the team he's been on and not quite being an elite talent.
Yeah.
It's no disrespect to Matt Ryan because I really do like Matt Ryan, but I just think it's a bit of a push to label him as elite, that's all.
Yeah. Or like he probably needs more than a Super Bowl at this point in his career to make a Hall of Fame push. I think like stats wise he'll probably be up and around there but it's like inflated stats. You can't compare that to current Hall of Famers.
Exactly, and like inflated stats from permanently being behind in games as well.
Yeah, that's a true fact.
It's like Dak Prescott last season.
Did really well in the playoffs for a few good years. Yeah, he did. I don't think the issue is that he's a bad quarterback. I think that part of the Hall of Fame resume is championship success as well as all being a truly elite transcendent talent, and he hasn't really had either.
Yeah, bit of a disappointing career for Matt Ryan, really. Like he could have been so much more. No, he could have been so much more in terms of rings, accolades, and stuff like that if he'd been on another squad that had competent defenses.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not a disappointing player, just a disappointing career in terms of what he could have on his resume.
Yeah, he's going to be that. He's going to be that sort of pub quiz answers like, MVP winners that aren't in the Hall of Fame, and at least he'll get remembered for that because he's got that MVP. But it should carry him through a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the Carolina Panthers. And I'm sort of struggling what to make of this team because they're still very much rebuilding. Having said that, they were quite fun last year, like quite a little frisky team.
I like them. I really like them. Very good coaching. Like Matt Rule and Joe Brady, two of the better coaches in the league, I reckon, like after last season, what they were able to do with like a middling roster.
Joe Brady's going to be a head coach by next season, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that would be reasonable to suggest, especially if he has success with Sam Darnold here. If he's able to rekindle Sam Darnold's career, then yeah, for sure, head coaching job right there. So this season on Carolina Panthers, we obviously got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall Jr. joins them. So that's the receiver core. And at tight end, you got Dan Arnold coming from Arizona, Tommy Tremble, who they drafted. Big Matt Burns Peak is a big fan of Tommy Tremble, and he does. And then Ian Thomas as well at tight end. So the pass catching group is looking okay. Like Terrace Marshall is a guy I know.
Really good receiving core.
It is a very good receiving core. Like, yeah, Moore, Anderson, Marshall. I think you could go a lot worse than that, especially with Marshall as a rookie. You don't know what you're getting with him yet. Like, who was it out of us lot who was a big fan of Marshall?
Myself and Joe.
You and Joe. Yeah, there you go.
And Alex, a writer Alex, obviously, as an LSU fan, was pounding the table for Marshall for quite.
He loves his Tigers.
He does, but he's usually pretty fair.
Yeah, he's a very big Tigers fan, obviously, but not biased to the same level that our very own Matt Burns Peak is towards the Dolphins. So you've got to respect him.
Bring that up as much as possible. I think if there's one way that Sam Darnold gets back to the potential he had coming out, it's got to be in an offense like this that spreads the ball out, gives him nice, easy passes. Like he made Teddy Bridgewater look competent for the first half of the season.
Exactly, yeah. Like if you can make Teddy Bridgewater look like an upper tier starting QB or even like above average, then you're clearly doing something right. So yeah, with this offense, he's obviously going to have a little bit more control, Sam Darnold, I think, because of the spread out nature of things. There'll be more checks he can make at the line. And he's just going to be in a better situation to succeed rather than when he was in New York with Adam Gase, where he was just set up to fail from the start. And you've also got to remember that next to him in the backfield, he's got Christian McCaffrey, arguably the best running back in the league.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to make the argument that he's not the best all-round back. The thing with Donald as well, people forget that he's got an absolute cannon as well. Partially because he's usually aiming that straight at the opposition. But if he can get dialed in and sort of get to where his potential was, it could be a little bit of a fun offense. Or Joe's favorite quarterback, XFL legend, PJ Walker. Does he play this year if Sam Darnold doesn't get injured? Is there any chance to go to PJ?
Yeah, I think PJ Walker will see snaps at some point. It's just when. Like Sam Darnold will have a bit of a shitter of a game, and then they'll bring PJ in for a few snaps. Like it'll happen. Sam Darnold will get hurt for a few drives. PJ Walker will come in. Like, and then Joe will send us a text on the WhatsApp group. Guys, tune into the Panthers game. PJ Walker's in.
You're expecting Joe to be the one that's watching the game and having information that we don't all have. You mean we get a text on Monday when Joe sees the highlights? Oh my God, guys, you know PJ Walker played yesterday?
It's like, yes, Joe, we were watching.
So yeah, offensive line, again, similar to the Falcons, isn't fantastic. I mean, Matt Paradis is a good center. And then Taylor Moton, must be Moton.
It's Moton, yeah.
Has been a good tackle since he's been, 2017, I want to say, drafted, somewhere around there.
Second round, 2017.
But he's a guy that's been like consistently good. The rest of that is, should we say, questionable?
Yeah, I think Matt Paradis is a guy you could be excited about coming in from Denver. Like, he's a decent center. But, yeah, I don't really know. The rest of the line doesn't look great.
I don't trust a team that starts Cam Irving left tackle.
Got Pat F-line as well.
Was he the one that was at the Vikings a few years ago?
Yeah, he was all right at the Vikings, and he was with the Jets last year. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, Joe Brady's game is all quick hitters anyway, so it shouldn't be we can't use that too much of an excuse for Sam Darnold because he's getting absolute free rushes and Sam Darnold's just getting hit after 2 seconds. Yeah. Then they should be able to run most of what he likes to do.
Yeah. The only thing that's going to limit this offense is going to be the offensive line. That's my opinion.
Not Sam Darnold.
Well, Sam Darnold's going to be able to succeed, I think. I expect him
to comeback player of the year?
No, because he was never anything in the first place.
Exactly. He's coming back from nothing to be good.
No, but that's not coming back then.
Breakout player of the year.
Breakout player of the year. I think.
Is Sam Darnold on the NFL top 100 list next year?
Oh, that's tasty, that. That's a juicy question. So considering James Robinson came in at number 100, so that's the benchmark. I'm going to say no.
But he's a QB, so he gets auto boost, and he has that first round pedigree.
He has got. I don't know. I think Sam Darnold will have a good season. I don't think he's going to be like crazy good, but I think he'll be Kirk Cousins-esque.
I think Kirk Cousins is a sort of pretty regular top 100 member.
That's tough. That's really tough because I'm not huge on Sam Darnold, but I'm very high on Joe Brady and his systems.
It'll be interesting. We'll come back to that at the end of the season.
Screw it. I'm going to say no.
Say no. I don't blame you. No, it's hard to get on board from what we've seen, like through the NFL career. And if you ask Matt, he was like, I don't think he was any good in college anyway. Yeah,
Scout Matt coming back at us again.
He was really low on Darnold coming out, and that was even before he went to the Jets. To be fair, so it wasn't even his AFC East bias.
Fair play. You got to respect him for sticking with his guns.
Okay, so the defense that brings in AJ Bowie coming off a little bit of a down year, but this defense has a couple of.
What did you call him?
AJ Bowie, isn't it?
AJ Bowie.
No, I think it was one of these like Travis Kelce where they got that everyone's been saying their names wrong forever and he just didn't want to correct it.
That doesn't sound good.
Or Travis Kelce sounds amazing.
No, Kels doesn't sound good either. Like,
I'm going to commit to that, by the way, calling him that for the entire season.
wait, I put a sandwich on you on that? Didn't I fit with you?
I think something like that. Yeah, if I could not get it wrong the entire year.
Okay, yeah, I think I said something like that. The
That's the
cornerback.
last time I had to mention him.
Okay. The cornerback group looks really good though. Yeah, you got AJ Surname, JC Horn, and Dante Jackson. Like that's a great group.
Especially when you get Jeremy Chin as well, that can sort of move around, play nickel a little bit as well.
Yeah, he's an easy nickel linebacker. He's your safety. He does it all.
He's a stud.
He is a stud. I love a bit of Jeremy Chin.
They hit on both their like big defensive players last year. Derek Brown as well, interior line. Gross Matos, I don't remember hearing a whole lot about him, to be fair, but you can't win them all.
Yeah, but he was never. I don't understand why he was ever like hyped so highly. Like he was one of those combine warriors, basically, who boosted his stock massively after that, and then now everyone's forgotten about him.
I thought you liked like sort of combine warriors as edge rushers.
When did I say that?
I thought no, as in you like athletes as edge rushers.
Yeah, I like athletes, but you've got to have like the repertoire of pass rush moves at the end of the day.
Fair enough.
I do think, yeah, you've got to be able to have a repertoire of moves that you can use. Like that's why Rashawn Gary's really struggled as an edge rusher because he doesn't have that repertoire of moves because of the way he was used in college and like he hasn't since been able to develop that as much. Like it's hard.
I know. I think Rashawn Gary's improving a lot.
Well, yeah, he's improving, but he was never going to stand out as a rookie, and he was overdrafted. I think because you've got to have the repertoire of pass rush moves that you can just whip out. It's the reason I wasn't high on Azeez Ojulari coming out the draft either because he had one move that he used, and they're really really hard to execute. Like you see these players like, oh, it's just you flick your hand, you slap their wrist out of the way, and bam, you're through. But it's really really hard. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I wasn't massively high on him. Like no, it's athletes that I love at corner. I think.
No, because you were big on Owe because of like his athletic upside.
Yeah, no. I did really like Owe.
No.
Yeah, you got me backtracking it, Steve. But no, Jason Owe or whatever. What's he going by now? Adafe Owe.
To be fair, I think if I remember, it was more you liked his athletic upside and you weren't worried about the lack of sort of sack numbers.
Oh yeah, no, that was it. It was because they were just getting the ball out way too quick for him to get in and make sacks. Basically, Adafe Owe, or is it Jason Adafe? What's he going by?
It's Adafe Owe.
Adafe Owe, yeah. I'm not concerned about his lack of sack numbers purely because of how dominant he was against tackles. Like, yeah, this isn't a scouting podcast today, but yeah, that's why I love Adafe Owe.
You've always got to be scouting.
Always got to be looking for the next draft.
Yeah, it's fun. I reckon we're going to see some fun stuff from the Panthers on defense as well. They would do some cheeky little 3 safety sets on a couple of plays because of like Chin's versatility that allows them to do that. Yeah,
but he's just like he's like a sub linebacker though, isn't he?
I don't know. They use him all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, the pass rush group looks all right this year. You've got Hassan Reddick there as well, coming from Arizona. Massive season last year down the stretch. Had that record game against the New York Giants as well.
Against the New York Giants O-line. Pinch of salt.
Yeah, but Adrian Claiborne still had like a 6-sack game, but no one's going to say, "Oh yeah, but it was against the Cowboys when they were down like 3 starters." Like because
it was against who was that? Because Tyron Smith went out, didn't he?
Yeah,
and it was whoever that backup left tackle was, and he just got beaten by the same move over and over and over again. So you don't need a repertoire of moves; you just need to be up against really bad tackles.
So you just need to get very very lucky, and then you can make it in the league.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. All these stars are just lucky.
Absolutely.
And also, huge bonus for the Panthers. They've got big leg Joey Sly. Absolute hammer leg, no accuracy.
Love that. Yeah, Joey Sly at kicker. Joseph Charlton at punter.
I have no idea who Joseph Charlton is.
Neither have I, Slee. Neither have I.
So it did nothing throwing his name out there.
No, I just put Joseph Charlton. I just thought I'd say it, and then you would pick up and have some insightful comment to make about him.
You expect me to know all the punters?
I don't know.
I appreciate the faith you have, but I haven't been looking that deeply into each of these teams, unfortunately.
I thought I'd throw it out there, see what you gave me, but yeah, you disappointed.
This team has all got all the lookings of sort of a 500-ish team that's going to get a scalp or two throughout the season, but lose a game they shouldn't really. Like, I don't know what their ceiling floor is, but they're probably going to be somewhere around 9 and 8-ish.
Yeah, I'm with you there. They've got they've actually got one of my favorite linebackers in the game, one of the more underrated guys.
Thompson.
No, Josh Bynes. I love Josh Bynes. He's not one of the big names in the fact that I wouldn't put him in the top 100 anywhere close to there, but I don't know. I've got a thing for Josh Bynes because during his time in Arizona, he was absolutely quality, great run stopper, similar to Carlos Dansby in that respect. So, love a bit Josh Bynes.
Solid sort of player.
Yeah.
Shaq Thompson is also another one that's like underrated.
Yeah, no, he's solid. He's very solid.
Like people were keen to be like, oh, just wait till Kuechly and Thomas Davis was the other one they had there when they had a great linebacker core. They'll go and then Shaq Thompson will become a star, and he's yet to sort of become a star, but I still think he's a really solid player.
Right, here's a little question for you. When was Shaq Thompson drafted?
Okay, hands away. I haven't clicked on his name. So Taylor Moton was 2017, so it'll be before that. I reckon he's in his 2015.
2015, you're correct.
Yeah.
I thought he was more recent than that, but there you go.
I can't remember where he came from. He was a Pac-12 guy, wasn't he? He wasn't USC, was he?
I don't know. He was drafted in the first round, 2015.
Oh, you're not helpful.
I'm on it now. I'm on it.
Washington.
There you go.
I'll take that as a semi-win.
So like a draw.
Yeah. So I reckon, so 8 sort of 500 team. Joe Brady gets himself a head coaching job at the end of this year. Like, he had interviews last year and only been a coordinator for a season.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ceiling of this team 10-7.
Yeah, I just can't really see them as a playoff team.
Nah, no chance. Not happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless Darnold really surprises us and becomes what he hoped he could be or believes he probably can be, then I can't see him making the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. It's, again, like the Falcons, building for the future here. But I think the Carolina Panthers are just maybe a year ahead of where the Falcons are right now in their rebuild.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So last year, they were 5-11 last year. So yeah, I think they take that next step forward, become sort of competitive against some good teams.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is the New Orleans Saints, and I have no idea what to make of them because their offense will be two completely different offenses depending on who wins the starting job.
Yep, I 100% agree with you there. The offensive line is, once again, absolutely phenomenal. One of the better units in the league. The wide receiver unit, Mike Thomas is currently physically unable to perform. We've got Traquan Smith as the number 2.
As well, it seems.
Yep. Then you got Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Great name.
Ty Montgomery, Chris Hogan, and just a load of...
Wait, lacrosse superstar Chris Hogan is with the New Orleans Saints?
Apparently so. This is what I'm seeing on... Oh, no, it's a different Chris Hogan.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Damn it.
That's tremendously upsetting. And then everyone's predicted breakout star Adam Troutman.
I think it is. No, I think it...
I might just have to Google Chris Hogan.
No, I think this is the...
No, he's playing lacrosse now, I'm pretty sure.
He's listed on the Saints roster, age 32.
Oh, he is? You're right. I'm pretty sure. He also played professional lacrosse this summer.
Lacrosse season's done now. It's time to get back in those pads.
How the hell do you know when lacrosse season is?
I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing by the fact he's in the Saints roster.
So, I mean, any normal person presumably would make Jameis Winston the starter, right? But
I thought you were about to say any normal person would just sit on that lacrosse money and not play football.
I don't know how much there is in lacrosse money.
Probably not a lot.
But Sean Payton does have this weird love affair with Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it's quite concerning, really.
Like, surely Winston's going to be the starter, right?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really want him to. I would love nothing more than for Jameis Winston to be the starter, because I think he could take this offense to bigger and better places than Taysom Hill ever could.
100%. I mean, Taysom Hill's got no deep ball at all. Because he doesn't throw the ball properly. He just pushes it with his arm. He doesn't use his lower body.
There you go. You tell him.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's got an absolute enormous arm, so it sort of makes up for it in short and intermediate. But
he's the Joey Sly of quarterbacks.
Yeah, sure. I think you're giving him too much credit there, to be honest. I mean,
he sort of poops up there.
The good thing is that they'll always have a good running game because you got Alvin Kamara and that offensive line. And is Latavius Murray still there?
Latavius Murray is still indeed in New Orleans.
Nice. Apparently they picked up Devonta Freeman as well. So
yep, they have.
Devonta Freeman didn't play anywhere last year, did he? Didn't get signed the full season, did?
No, I think you're right there. He was a free agent last season. I can double check that for you now, but yeah, he was a free agent all of the season.
I'm going to trust my knowledge on that one.
No, he was with the Giants for a bit, but he was on the COVID list, and yeah, he was on COVID. He was on the injured reserve, COVID-19 injured reserve. I think he might. No, he got a few games. He had a few games with the Giants,
and then Wayne Gallman started balling out, and they're like, "Right, we don't need Devonta anymore."
Yeah, I think he might have played like a couple of games because I remember picking him up off waivers when he got signed, and then he just did nothing because Gallman started balling out.
Yeah, I feel this team, if Winston can regain some of his form, and they could sort out what they needed to do with Michael Thomas, it's actually a very good roster.
Yeah, no, defensively as well. We're looking really good here. Pass rushing group looking outstanding once again. Marcus Davenport, Cameron Jordan there. And then new draft pick as well, Peyton Turner at the University of Houston. They drafted in the first round this year. Linebacking core.
He was an edge rusher, but PFF has him lining up at D-tack.
See, I've got him listed as an edge rusher here, but...
Who's their other D-tack according to...
David Onyemata at left defensive tackle. Then as their nose tackle, they got Malcolm Roach.
Okay. They do. Saints gonna Saints.
Saints gonna Saints. That is exactly right. Yeah, this depth chart was updated on the 18th of August at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So,
okay,
pretty damn recent.
So got nice beats like Marshall Lattimore as well, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who may be the best trash talker in the NFL.
Oh, we love a bit of a CJJ. Oh, I can't talk. CGJ, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Marcus Williams on the back end, who, if it wasn't for the fact of his role in the Minnesota Miracle, people would appreciate him as a top tier safety. But now they think of that and they just see him missing a tackle on Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Williams is solid. You got Malcolm Jenkins in there as well at strong safety. Paulson Adebo at corner as well, who perhaps might see snaps alongside Marshall Lattimore this year.
I think he probably will. I mean,
he's
listed starter.
Yeah, you got Ken Crawley there as well, who's listed as the other starting cornerback, but Paulson Adebo, realistically, will probably step up and be that cornerback too. And Brian Paul was signed as well.
Probably he was signed for nothing as well.
The best slot corner in the league.
There's some good slot corners now.
Yeah, they're good slot corners, but I think Brian Paul is pretty much the creme de la creme.
He's certainly up there. The issue I have now is Malcolm Jenkins still as a starting safety in the league. He reads the game so well, but his body has just let him down at this point. He just looks a step behind the game. Yeah,
I do agree with you now. He's getting a bit old to be playing a position that does require quite a lot of speed. So could this be his last year in the league?
Maybe. They're basically playing him as a linebacker now, but he's just not right. One of his calling cards was when he was at the Eagles and when he was at the Saints before that in his first stint, was that he could be lined up all over the place and you could keep the offense guessing with him as much. If you put him now back as a deep safety, you're seeing him as a liability.
Yeah, she was going to target him if you're an offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
Right?
But I mean, but in the past, he was able to arrive in the box late as a blitzer, and he was just an absolute beast. Now I don't know. It's just not there anymore. He's more of he's like a Jamal Adams if Jamal Adams couldn't run anymore.
So not very good then.
I think Jamal Adams is a better coverer now than Jenkins is.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Yeah,
I would agree with you there.
But that's how they're using it, as a less physical Jamal Adams.
Right. Overall with this team then, I think this is going to there's going to be
a playoff team.
You think they're a playoff team?
Ceiling. Because ceiling, if Jameis Winston is a starting quarterback again, they're a playoff team. Their receiving core worries me a little bit.
Yeah, I think the gap between their floor and ceiling is going to be larger with this team for me than any of the other teams, purely because of the two different teams that they could be offensively.
Yeah, surely they've got to make a decision soon, because you can't just be learning two different playbooks.
Yeah, unless they're trying to make Taysom Hill a drop back passer.
But what's the point of that? That negates his biggest strength.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing they have going for them is Sean Payton is probably one of the three best coaches in the league.
Yeah, I do completely agree with that. It's just Taysom Hill and the receiving core. It's not good. If they are above 500 when it comes to that week 8, then I do expect them to make some sort of large trade to try and get in a big wide receiver for the playoffs, because this group isn't going to cut it for you right now. Traquan Smith had some big games.
He's been the guy that's been wait for him to break out. He's going to be really good. And just has yet to do it. Who would you see them being able to make a swing for?
Off the top of my head? I don't know. Maybe if the Bills suffer, you could go Emmanuel Sanders, someone like that.
They had Emmanuel Sanders, didn't they, last year?
Just that sort of B-tier receiver.
Yeah. And that's provided Michael Thomas comes back.
Yeah, because they're going to need someone else there in that group.
Michael Thomas, who is a certified number 1 receiver. I mean, that slanty boy meme has got way too out of hand.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's a top wide receiver. He's a great player. People just get... If he wasn't such of a douchebag on social media, then people wouldn't be saying this.
He doesn't make it easy for people to want to big him up.
Yeah, he's not a very likable guy.
Having never met him.
Oh, sorry. From his social media persona that he gives off, he's not a likable guy. Is that better for you, Slew?
Yeah, it's better, because you never know. We might get Michael Thomas on the pod next week.
All right, have you got that lined up?
He might need an outlet to talk about his trade request and what's going on with his injury.
Yeah,
I don't want him ringing me and be like, "Look, I'd love to come on the NFL show, the Dropback NFL show hosted on Britballing, but you know what? Stan can't be there that week."
You know what? I would happily take the week off if it meant getting Michael Thomas on.
All right, that's fair. It's about more than you. It's about the pod.
Yeah, exactly. This is bigger than me.
All right. So, what was your floor then? You're saying the biggest discrepancy.
6 and 11. 7. 6 and 11.
I can't see them having less than 6-7 wins, because they're at the end of the day, they're going to be a good team because they're well coached and they've got a really good defense.
Yeah, agreed.
Is your camera freaking out there? You got a little. Oh, there we go. It's starting flickering.
It started flickering. This is
it's a race against Stan's camera now.
It does move. My camera. Yeah.
We are on to the last team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, did you know that they returned every single Super Bowl starter?
No, I actually hadn't heard that enough during this offseason.
They returned every single one. I think it's one of the first Super Bowl winners to ever do so. So that's something that we haven't heard yet.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So you've clearly done your research before this podcast, Lou.
Yeah, so I have done my research. And
so, do we even need to talk about the offense then? It's just Super Bowl winning, game beating.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's another benefit for the Saints, the fact that they basically shut down this offense 3 times last year. And if Drew Brees had an arm in January, they probably would have won that game.
Yeah, Drew Brees has an arm for about 5 weeks, then just falls off a cliff.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it's scary that they won the Super Bowl without having had an off season, considering how many new parts they would bring into that team.
Oh, it's crazy, this team. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, and Antonio Brown. That is not fair.
Yeah, and they get OJ Howard, who went down in October, so they get him out. So they got Cam Bray, OJ Howard, and Rob Gronkowski at tight end.
Unfair, yeah. You got WWE, Orange Juice Howard, and Cam Bray.
Yeah, he did a Super Bowl, didn't it? Not Super Bowl, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
O-line, pretty dominant, from left to right.
Very solid. Very solid. And they had Robert Hainsey as well, guy they drafted at centre. Kyle Trask as well at quarterback now. He's not going to see the field. But yeah, other than that, it's exactly the same offense that you know and love.
Yeah. I mean, do you see them keeping a step back? Do you think that hot streak they went on, was that them finally clicking, or was that a hot streak towards the end of the year? I mean, I think they just clicked now, aren't they?
I think they've clicked. Yeah, it's the running game that finally clicked into place, and that just allowed the rest of the offense to just unleash itself. Because Bruce Arians is a run-first guy. He loves running his duos, like power plays and first and second down. And when that finally clicks for them with Ronald Jones, and they worked out how to utilize Leonard Fournette properly in the offense, there was no stopping them because they could run their offense effectively both on the ground and through the air. And once you can do that, there's just no stopping you.
No, that's it. And to be fair, he's right. The cap space is going to be so bad in a few years, but it doesn't matter if you win 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how bad your cap space is.
Yeah, the aim of the game is to win a Super Bowl. If you win a Super Bowl and fuck your cap up, then it's worth it. And you would say the same about the Eagles, I know.
Yeah, I'll take that. I would not change to be a competent team now in return of handing back that 2017 Super Bowl. Absolutely zero chance.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the game's about at the end of the day, winning.
It is. And so let's talk defense. I mean, the one weak spot you would maybe say is their cornerback positions, but I think that's sort of overblown. I think they're all pretty solid players.
Are you trying to bait me?
You don't like Carlton Davis.
You're trying to bait me. Yeah.
I'm trying to bait you to say something about Carlton Davis.
Yeah, I don't like Carlton Davis, but at the end of the day, this defense is just ridiculously studded and just it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter if Carlton Davis isn't that good because Todd Bowles proved that he can make the adjustments when Davis does get toasted.
Yeah, just have him sit off and just absolutely ruin them with pressure because you can get so much pressure with that front four. And now they've got Joe Tryon as well.
Oh yeah, Joe Tryon, one of my favorite edge rushers in this class. Absolute baller out of Washington. He didn't even get utilized properly there as well. They were running some 3 down front thing, so he couldn't even get pressure properly. Imagine what he's gonna be able to do this year. I can't wait to see him in action. He might not even get that many reps either because you got JPP and Shaq Barrett there. So
yeah, I mean, you could just keep them all fresh, and that's the issue with this defense. You can say, "Oh yeah, we'll target Carlton Davis, we'll target Devin White in coverage," but you've got to actually be able to drop back and pass and not end up on the ground.
Oh, exactly. It's just they operate so well on both levels. The D line is fantastic. The second level, the linebackers, best group in the league probably, and Devin White, Levante David. And yeah, JPP and Shaq Barrett dropping back there occasionally. And then the DB group, sure, they're not great individual names, but their chemistry and speed just allows them to buy time for the guys at the front anyway. So yeah. I don't have many concerns about this team going forward. And if anything does become a weakness, it will be the secondary. But yeah, it's not
ceiling Super Bowl, right?
Oh yeah, ceiling is Super Bowl. Floor is 12.
Go out in the wild card round.
Yeah, floor is 12-5 for this team. I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to argue against that. I mean, it's hard to argue against Super Bowl teams anyway.
Always is.
But then you keep all the players. It's just rude, really.
It is quite rude. It's quite obnoxious that they had
the NFL isn't supposed to work like that.
No, it is really not. And they've somehow managed to do it. And if they're going to go back to back, wouldn't be surprised.
No, would not at all. So they would be the first back-to-back team, since the Patriots of the early 2000 Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Be impressive.
Can they do it?
Yeah.
Will they do it?
Don't know.
Thanks. I think that's a perfect place to end our prediction show for that this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for Britballing for giving us this platform to continue to do this. Make sure you check out all of our socials, at the Dropback, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our live stream podcasts, everything's released the day after on all of wherever you get your podcasts from. Check it out. Don't go to our website at the moment because we're having a few technical issues right now. So it is down. It should be back up again swiftly, but we're always late with stuff. So it may be a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, I've been Sam. I've been joined by Stan. And until next time,